Hi, I just ordered these children's books about the pandemic. I'm going to be reading them and giving them a rating for you. First up, we have When Virona the Corona Came to Town. And then I'll rate If You Cant Bear Hug, Air Hug. Followed by Masked Ninja. Then A Little Spot Stays Home, a story about viruses and safe distancing. And last, I'll be reading You're Mean, COVID-19. Up first is When Virona the Corona Came to Town. So this is one of the wordier books. You can see it's got a lot of pages. So younger grade teachers, you may have to put a bookmark halfway through because they might not sit through it. So I really like that it's got a little bit of rhyming. Virona the Corona just showed up one day and it looked like she was here to stay. Her first stop was Wuhan to say ni hao, then off to Italy to yell ciao. Part 2 of rating children's pandemic books. I'm still reviewing When Virona the Corona Came to Town. The illustrations are colorful, they're very simple, they're very cute. This part made me laugh. It says, humans stayed home to get Virona to stop. The dogs were happy, the cats were not. It reminded me of all those viral TikToks from March of all these happy dogs and then all these angry cats of like, when are these humans going back to work? I really like that the main character is a person of color. It also mentions that she doesn't live at home with her sisters and brothers and that she missed them. So I like that because I'm trying to build an inclusive classroom library. There's probably a lot of students who couldn't see their own siblings for quite some time. It also shows her two moms and her granddad making masks for their community. And it talks about staying positive. It also has a free poster. Overall, I give this book a 10 out of 10. Part 3 coming up. Part 3 of rating children's pandemic books. Up next, If You Cant Bear Hug, Air Hug, a book inspired by social distancing. This book is shorter than the last one, and the pages don't have as many words, so no bookmark needed. Younger kids could probably sit through it. I like that it rhymes. Here it says, if you can't slap fins, flash grins. If you can't split a fish, share a wish. If you can't rub whiskers, be good listeners. So after reading it, you can have your students do a rhyming activity like this one. Those are from my TPT store. It looks like this. I could see this book being really helpful when you want to explain the class rules or when you want to explain social distancing. I also love that all the pages are cute little animals. It does end kind of abruptly, but overall it's short and sweet and adorable and it rhymes. It's not for older kids, it's pretty cutesy. I'd say TK through first grade. Overall, I give this book a 9 out of 10. Part 4 of rating children's books about the pandemic. Up next is Masked Ninja. I'm home now. First, I like that this book is a part of a series because kids love series. So there's Inventor Ninja, Grumpy Ninja, Anxious Ninja, Earth Ninja, and many more. This book is a little bit longer than the other one, and it definitely has more words per page. It also has more advanced vocabulary. It explains the CDC here on this page. And then it explains the WHO on this page. It talks about how the virus began in China, and then it covers bullying. You see these ninjas are speaking in another language, and they're getting teased. But the main character reminds them we should always be kind and not blame others for what is happening. I jotted down 20 words the author used that I think kids will need a lesson on for comprehension. I have more to say. I need a part 5. Part 5 of rating children's books about the pandemic. I think this book will help you start a conversation about mask wearing and how important it is. In addition to the 20 vocabulary words, it also has this cool saying that needs to be explained to kids. It says, sickness comes in like a landslide, but goes out as slow as spinning silk. While this book has adorable illustrations and a positive message, as well as this adorable wash your hands song, it also has this scene, which I think can be a little bit scary for smaller kids. I definitely see this book as 4th grade and above, maybe not so much K through 3. Unless you want to spend a whole week explaining it, that is. It's up to you. Last, I see the author provided a website for printables. I went ahead and checked it, but there are no free printables for this book, only for a few of the other books. There's so much to consider. 10 out of 10. This one's next. Come back for part 6. Part 6 of rating children's books about the pandemic. A Little Spot Stays Home, a story about viruses and safe distancing. This book is the longest. For younger grades, I recommend reading it in 2 separate sessions. Also, most of the pages are pretty wordy, like this one. While reading, I jotted down 22 terms that could be tricky for kids and will need reviewing. Unlike Mass Ninja that used vocabulary words in context and then just kept going, this book was more direct. It would throw out a new word and then define it right away. Throw out new words, define them right away. Throw out new words, define them right away. Which is great, but having been a teacher for almost 15 years, I know there's a lot of kids who don't connect to stories like that. If there isn't an immediate plot and it's just word definition, their little eyes will start to glaze over, no matter how cute the pictures are. Part 7 of rating children's books about the pandemic. I'm still reviewing this book. The entire first half is explaining terms, and then it goes into a nice part about thanking essential workers. Then it goes into the emotions that may have been felt during quarantine and gets more positive and talks about things to do at home. The author provided a little sheet at the end and her website. I went on the website, but I only found printables for other books, not for this book. Which made me realize this is a book in a series, and I like that because kids love to read books in a series. I feel like I need this one for myself. I just noticed there's another pandemic book here. It's about distance learning. I'm definitely going to order that today. Now for a score. I'm going to say 9 out of 10. Now I'm going to rate the last book called You're Mean, COVID-19. Part 8 of rating kids books about the pandemic. The 5th and final book is called You're Mean, COVID-19. The story itself is pretty short. The pages don't have too many words and they rhyme. It's told from the unique perspective of a little boy who's only 3. The title gets repeated 3 times in a pretty cute way. I want to get messy, but instead I have to stay clean. You're mean, COVID-19. I just want to see my friends without causing a scene. You're mean, COVID-19. I know soon enough I'll see a slide's sheen, but until then, you're mean, COVID-19. I can totally picture little kids complaining about new rules and then saying that out loud. The book does end on a positive note, which is good. Now for a score. It's cute and short. I give it a 9 out of 10. The end.